Well, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk Tech. I'm so glad to be back here in the studio. And with me, of course, is Cheryl. Cheryl, thank you for joining me today.
I'm so happy to be here, Debbie.
I'm glad you're here too, and because I miss it when we don't have the question of the month. You know, we really need that question of the month. So, I assume everything's been going pretty well.
Everything's been going great.
All right. Well, that's wonderful, and I know I even got you in on my other show, so that's pretty cool.
Snuck in under the wire.
Snuck in. So, well, let's start with this month's question of the month then.
Well, okay. I recently heard about a few new tech items. One is that the Apple earbuds can be used as hearing aids. But I also heard about smart glasses, and I wondered, why would I want to wear them?
Well, those are great questions, and I got to tell you, smart glasses, when I tell you about those, you're going to want one. And the earbuds are pretty cool too, the AirPods of how they're doing. So, yeah, let me explain them both to you.
Perfect.
Well, buckle up, Cheryl, because this is a really long answer. Most people did not know that Apple AirPods can do more than just play music now. They might be able to help you hear better too. So in September of 2024, the FDA approved Apple's first of its kind software to convert Apple earbuds into clinical grade over-the-counter hearing aids. The FDA greenlighted OTC regulations 2 years ago to make the devices easier to buy for people with mild to moderate loss and lower prices overall. OTC, or over-the-counter hearing aids, don't require prescription from an audiologist or a hearing professional, and in some cases can just be as effective as those more expensive models. You can purchase them online or in stores. You should still need to seek medical attention for severe hearing loss. This is not medical advice. You can use Apple's hearing test or one from an audiologist to decide. When the AirPods are paired with an iPhone running iOS software 18.1 or later, you can take a 5-minute hearing test to determine the extent of your hearing loss, if any. If mild or moderate hearing loss is not detected, you won't be able to turn the hearing aid function on. And that was required in the soft date update that they gave in the fall. To take the test, go to Settings on iPhone, tap the name of AirPods Pro, take a hearing test, and then get started. If you already have a hearing test from an audiologist, you can scan it into the Health app on the phone, which is where the audiogram Apple generates is also stored. So basically, here's how it works. Your iPhone can give you a quick hearing test right at home. It's easy, painless. Based on your test results, your AirPods can be adjusted to your specific hearing needs, and your AirPods will amplify sounds and reduce the background noise, making it easier for you to hear conversations or other important sounds. So at this point, you might be pondering, why would someone choose AirPods as a hearing aid? Well, first, they're tools to support hearing, not true hearing aids. So keep that in mind. They're wireless and easy to use, so that's very convenient. They're stylish, they look like small earbuds, and they come in different colors. And they're a more affordable option than traditional hearing aids, so that might be a way to improve hearing at a lower cost initially. When asked, though, about 50% of the people felt that they did a good job for them to improve the quality of their hearing. While AirPods can be a helpful tool for those with mild to moderate hearing loss, they're not a replacement for traditional hearing aids. So it's always best to consult with a hearing healthcare professional to determine the best solution for your individual needs. There are audiologists located everywhere and even screening right at Costco. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Right.
That's really impressive.
And it's like nobody would even know that you were using them. They're great. It's a great option for someone who's not really on the fence, because a lot of us are very vain about wearing them, but they're so small.
And the expense
Oh,
too.
the expense,
Yeah.
right. And AirPods are a couple $100,
Right.
and you can get
Right.
some. I more or less think of it as hearing amplification.
Right.
So it's amplifying. But I like the fact that it reduces background noise, because oftentimes background noise is what really causes you not to be able to hear.
It's a huge difference.
Right.
Ooh, yeah.
So now let me answer the other part of your question about the smart glasses. Personally, I am very intrigued by these. Smart glasses are wearable devices that combine regular eyeglasses with built-in digital technology to enhance daily activities. These special glasses offer features like augmented reality or AR, hands-free communication, and even health tracking. I'd like to offer you a little breakdown of their capabilities and why they might appeal to older users, though. They offer this AR, augmented reality, which is truly incredible in bringing things to life and can project digital information like map, text, or instructions right into the glasses. And you'll be able to see it right then. This makes them ideal for navigation, translation, or even identifying landmarks. These glasses can also monitor health and wellness by tracking steps, heart rate, and other health metrics. They also provide cognitive assistance, such as providing reminders for appointments, tasks, or medications. Some models even offer fall detection or reminders to take medications. They can provide hands-free assistance, such as access to virtual assistants like Siri, Alexa, or Google, and allow users to make calls, send messages, or perform searches without holding their phone. For reading and magnification, they display text and magnify visuals for easier reading, which is beneficial for those with vision impairments. The glasses will sync with smartphones to display calls, messages, and alerts, helping you stay connected without checking your devices. For a long time, there weren't many options, though, but now there are so many. They can also be made with a prescription in most cases. Some of the popular smart glasses options are Ray-Ban Stories by Meta. These are stylish glasses that are integrated with cameras and microphones for taking photos and videos and making calls. They're really great for documenting your travels and capturing your memories effortlessly. My hairstylist actually has a pair and he loves them. And he brought them to show me and they're very cool. Google Glass Enterprise 2. These focus on work and productivity and feature a lightweight design with small display for notification and apps. They're suitable for older adults who value simplicity and practicality. Then there's some new players. Vuzix Blade smart glasses offer AR capabilities, Alexa integration, and a lightweight design. The display can also show live translation of speech in several languages, which is very cool. However, it only works one way, so the other person must understand English to have a conversation. There are no speakers or mics in the glasses, though, so your phone must be nearby. The Ray Neo X2 takes a different approach, though, as a standalone solution that can run apps, connect to Wi-Fi, take photos, and more. There's even a built-in AI with an avatar that appears in front of you. So it looks in your glasses, it seems like you're chatting to make it more interactive. There is a brand called Envision glasses. Those are specifically designed for visually impaired. They use AI to describe surroundings, read out text, and identify objects. They are next level. But supposedly Samsung's ready to take a stab at a wearable option. It did their smart ring called Aura, but they have plans to launch their smart glasses, and that could be in maybe 2026. At the CES show this year, there are a lot of new brands being announced, so I'm hoping to get a pair to show everyone here. I've asked for some samples, so we'll see. So thanks again for the great question, Cheryl. Don't you want to go out and get a pair of those smart glasses?
I absolutely do. Boy, that's really impressive.
You know, and the Ray-Bans, without a prescription, they're a couple $100s. So it's not like pocketbook breaking, but just to have the option to have something so cool. And I think, you know, there's enough to them to bring value to an older person's life.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, and I'm so glad that you were here to ask the questions. And we'll be right back.
Someone asked me recently, what is Thrive? Thrive is a group in the Village that seeks to inspire quality living in every chapter of our lives. They asked, how do you do that? We bring people together and promote themes such as kindness, positivity, joyfulness, resilience, and mindfulness in a complex world, as these behaviors enhance wellness and increase cognitive and physical health. Come thrive with us at our next event. Just RSVP by emailing us.
Well, welcome back. And with me today, as And it always is my pleasure to have Paul Ortiz, the General Manager of Broadband Services, with me. We're going to discuss the current status of our broadband.
Well, great to see you again.
Great to see you too. I hear you've been all over the community talking to people, and
we have been. We've been talking to a lot of residents, and we've been also meeting with the boards about, this project, our fiber project. And then even some of our residents have probably seen us out in the community. We look like we're digging for gophers or whatever, and it's us and our broadband staff looking for the spare empty conduit that was placed in your community nearly, over 25 years ago.
It's amazing. I mean, I know people have heard little bits and pieces, and maybe they haven't been paying attention yet, but it's time probably for them to start paying a little bit of attention. Nothing's going to happen yet tomorrow.
Right.
We're still a little ways off, but one of the things we do here is we want to prepare people for what's eventually coming down the road, and it sounds pretty exciting to me.
It's really getting out there, and the good thing is that we're working with our marketing department, and we're putting everything out in What's Up in the Village just about every Friday now. And I also have a little contact information in the What's Up in the Village with our little article talking about the project, the fiber project, and says, hey, reach out to Paul Ortiz and I can get you our white paper. And I've had some really good, interesting emails. And even people that were like a little apprehensive, once I started to kind of explain to them, what we were going to be doing and what this was going to cost to the community. Because really, that's really what people care about, right?
Can I turn my TV on?
Right.
Can I watch the news? Yeah. And how much is it going to hit me in the pocketbook? Those are the primary concerns.
Yeah, and it's really the pocketbook, because that's really what everybody wants to know.
But I'll tell you, if you go to turn your TV on and there's nothing, that's not always a good thing either.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure there's continuity.
Right, but we've been working through this process for about 4 or 5 years. We've talked about the RFP, we've talked about the letters of intent, we've met with all the mutuals, we've met with the GRF Finance Committee, and we brought 14 vendors here last year, narrowed it down to 8, then narrowed that down to 3, and now we're down to 1.
Right.
So right now we can kind of tell you a little bit about what's going to happen to Mrs. Jones when this project, if this project moves forward, and how is it going to affect her experience regarding internet and television.
Well, and that's it too, and you say if. The reality is it kind of has to, because what we have now is not going to sustain. And we want to have, one of the things that I've always talked about here in the community is sustainability.
Right.
And that's in everything that we have, all the amenities. But this is a huge amenity.
It is.
And it's a costly amenity, but yet it's a necessity that none of us can live without it. This day and age, not having TV, not having internet for the most part. I mean, I don't even know what the numbers are, but I've been involved in this project since 5 years now. And one of the things was we had almost everybody has internet, right?
11,000 people have West Coast internet currently. And it's only amenity, like you said, it's so valuable. It's only amenity in our community that every single person can use at the same time.
Right. At the same time. So that's a great point.
It's really important. And then the people that built the network that people utilize today, in 1995, they spent 4 or 5 years doing the same thing we are. Oh my gosh, it's going to cost millions of dollars. But the people that are utilizing it today and enjoying the internet and the television services, well, that was discussed 25, 30 years ago. And we're just doing that again for our new neighbors and the generations that come in our community.
Well, and the changes, I mean, obviously the technology has changed, which is what brought us here today, right?
Right.
And, I think another thing that people get worried about is, nobody loves change, and change can be hard. And one of the things that I know as being part of this committee and having worked with you all these years is we are focused on trying to make the change as palatable as possible.
Right.
And it's going to be, that's why it's taken so long, and it's still going to be a while. We're still probably a year and a half, 2 years out, right? About 2 years?
The construction's going to take about 18 months. Once we get final approval, if the first shovel goes in the ground, it's going to be about 18 months. But we really would like to get this all completed late summer of 2026 would be a nice time frame. And right now we're talking to a provider And right now, the average resident pays about $40 per man or per month, and the average resident only gets about 200 megabits per second.
Which is not very
Which
fast.
is not very
in
fast.
today's-
And for those of you that just email, you're like, well, that's all I need. Well, because you just email. But, as technology changes, you're all going to watch TV on streaming services and platforms. So you need that internet, robust internet broadband width so that you can get all these services as well. So it's important that we not only can serve residents that just email, but you can watch television, and it'll also serve for the residents in the future.
Well, and not only that, a lot of, I go to the Consumer Electronics Show, and I keep up with those things. And there are so many health-related things now that rely on internet to track health data, to send to your doctor. So, it's kind of Jetson-like, right?
It is.
It's like we're now, back when we first saw the Jetsons, we thought that's never going to happen. We're already past the Jetsons.
We are.
And so
a microwave is very common now.
a microwave is very
back in the 70s, if you had a microwave, not only was it giant, but you were well off.
Right,
But,
right.
and that's what's happening with technology too. So right now we're trying to keep all our costs about the same, and fortunately, so far everything has been about that. Where whatever you're paying for internet right now, the average person, it's about going to be the same for the new internet service, except for having 200 megabits a second. We're talking about 2,000 megabits per second.
Which is astronomical.
It is. It's almost too much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But we thought, well, why are we going to spoon feed you all when we can give you
Right.
a really good level of service, and then we don't have to worry about it? Plus, we can talk about property values that go up when communities build a nice broadband network, and then all the utilization, like you just mentioned, that people will have in the future.
And I had an experience because I am staying somewhere here, and I'm using the West Coast internet, and this person, I don't think they have the highest speed. But today I noticed that it wasn't fast like at home where I have 1 gig, but I pay I pay more for 1 gig of internet than this whole package could possibly even cost our residents.
Absolutely.
So, the value that's going to be here, you will not find outside these gates.
No.
And I think that's what people need to keep in mind too when the changes come, that this is for them. This is to benefit them and their lives. I heard, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but you might even have low-cost cell service.
Not only will we offer a lower cost cell service through the provider, the talk is $10 per month, unlimited talk and text. But just think about, we've been telling people that you're probably going to have to go to YouTube TV, but just raise their prices by $10 a month.
Right.
So
hit me up again.
that's kind of tough.
That's twice since
and then
I
we
got
talked
it.
about all the other platforms that are out there, but we've been very fortunate in our negotiations with our current provider that we would provide a very nice video package, television package. You're going to get 20 more channels than what's offered now.
Wow.
And what people don't realize on our basic channel lineup, it's a lot of standard definition and over-the-air stations that no one watches anyway, so that's how you get to 84.
Right.
So these are actually 104 cable networks with all our local networks. And then, of course, Village Television will still be part of the app that we'll be, really promoting next year.
Right, and that's what I was
This year,
gonna-
actually,
Well,
2025.
We're in
Here we are.
2025.
It's hard to say that already.
Yeah, I know. What happened? How did we get to here? But
Right.
no, I was actually going to ask you about the app because we brought the app out several months ago, earlier this year, and I don't know how but I love the app. If you want to watch Village Television in real time, you could put an app on your device and watch it right there. So when I'm traveling around, I'm able to watch Village
Right.
Television
And
in
you're
real time.
And you're still connected.
And I'm still connected.
Right.
So I love that. I love the fact that we're not, other than adding the app, there won't be any change.
No.
They'll still have Village Television. It just won't be the number 6.
Right, exactly. It's going to be very, very similar to you go to Netflix to watch your favorite programs.
Right.
Then you would just go to your Village Television app. It currently is our live stream. Hopefully by 2026 we would have something like a Netflix, kind of like our YouTube channel. And that's what I tell people too. If you want to just watch it a week later, just go to our YouTube channel, pick the program you want to watch, and you're good to go.
And and don't forget to watch my show, but I love going to the app because like the other day I went on and I went to the YouTube channel and I was able to watch something that I said, oh, I know that person, and I clicked on it and I watched a little bit of the board update.
Right.
So, you can keep in the know, and, some of our residents don't live here full time like myself, so, that way they can keep current and with the community wherever they are. And I mean, think about all the things that you can do with 2 gigs of internet speed. Video cameras and video doorbells. Video doorbells are big, right? So do you feel like once we're out, like the transition, people are probably nervous about, even though it's still a little bit away, it's going to be here much quicker. It's like 2025 is already here. And when we first started talking about this in like 2018 or 19, it seemed like this was so far away, but it's not.
Right.
So what do you think, like the transition itself, the rollout, I know that we're prematurely talking about this now, but just to alleviate people's concern now.
Well, we think that, probably a year from now or so, that's when we'll really people will be knocking on your door, and then they'll be introducing themselves and probably having equipment go into your home. And then we start with the authentication process because, we got to make sure, just like at your home, the biggest thing we want to make sure is that your Wi-Fi privacy is your privacy.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that your equipment is all authenticated, good to go. And then, of course, you would have a new television authentication. Authentication just means kind of like your Netflix is your username and password.
Yeah, you got to connect it.
So that'll be the transition. I think the biggest hurdle for us will be actually knocking on doors and getting to 12,736 homes and saying, hello, Mrs. Jones, we're here to put in this piece of equipment. We're basically going to replace your router and your cable modem and your set-top boxes and get those out of your home and give you a nice little unit with another router.
Yeah.
And that is it. And I had a question today, what's going to happen to all my coaxial cable in the home? You won't even need that anymore. It's just going to be old technology,
right? And
everything's going to be done via Wi-Fi.
Right. So you won't ever see, no more unsightly cables like you had with the cables. So, I do have a question about the coax people that aren't on the internet. How will you know with the 12 that you said there's 11,000 and something? What about those others?
The 1,000?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to go. The equipment's going to go in their home no matter what.
Whether you use it or not.
We have to think of the internet now as a utility. I said, hey, would you rather have your water and your phone on, or would you rather have internet on? And everybody wants the internet and electricity, of course. Yeah. So it's going to be just like, hey, this manor comes with a kitchen sink, a shower, and 2,000 megabits of internet service. So.
And a lot of new communities, when you go out in new communities that are just new builds, that's one of the things. We have this in the wall already, and we have this and this, and you plug and go, and you've got all these things. So we're just bringing ourselves into the future.
Right.
We're just bringing ourselves up to that same level of service that we're going to have. Well, personally, I know I'm a tech person, but I am excited about this because I feel like this is the step that we need to take as a community to make sure that everybody, for the foreseeable future, is taken care of. And it's a technology time frame of our life.
That's what drives our life, like you just said. And the most important thing, people like yourself, the techies, they're excited about it because of the technology. But the people that are not so techie, they're more concerned about, well, what is it going to cost me?
Right.
So we're trying to reassure them that we're trying to keep all these costs the same. I'll say, okay, what do you pay right now for internet service? What is your assessment? That everybody pays on that, and then you start doing the math. And if we can just keep that reasonable for everyone, I think it's going to be a pretty good situation.
Well, and I feel that too, and I feel like even if there is, I mean, we already know, what things cost, but the reality is it's still a fraction of what you pay ordinarily outside of these gates. I have to keep saying that because I want people to understand that we've got a unique situation here, and this isn't. Paul lives outside the gates. I
Just
also
down the
live.
street.
I live outside the gates in the Central Valley, and I know how much I pay for all my services, and it's about 4 times what this is going to cost.
That's true.
And I don't have anything more.
Yeah.
In fact, I have less. I have 1 gig versus 2 gig. Not that, again, at some point though, being prepared for the future, just like what we did now as a community, having the coax and having the conduit be available, just that forward vision. Having 2 gigs is a forward vision.
Absolutely.
Just to keep us wired and connected and for whatever might come.
Right.
We don't know.
And even the network that's being built is a 10 gig system. So, say 7 to 8 years or 10 years from
Something
now,
changes.
2 gigs isn't enough. People want 5 gigs or whatever.
Right.
The system can handle that, and all we do is change, like we talked about before, the can.
Right.
We're just going to change that chicken noodle can into a tomato soup can, and we're
and we're going to be there.
everybody's going to be happy again.
Well, the good news is for the community, as Paul is out and about, there is a lot of information being shared on a regular basis so that, residents have what they need, the information. Because one of the things people always say is that, well, we want communications, we want information. That is a primary goal of the committee, is to make sure that we can share out as much information as possible on a regular basis to let our residents. Now, residents, that means you have to read or listen. So we can't make that happen, but Paul's been out with the PC Club. There's he's been on my show. He'll continue to be on my show. And just, keep yourself informed. It's important to keep yourself informed so that you know when things are happening, but nothing's happening overnight. I want to, I like to just alleviate some of the fear, that everything is being talked about. And as more information about specifics can be shared, it will be shared. But we always have to do all of our due diligence behind closed doors here.
Right.
And then once everything is determined and it's ready to be shared, it will be.
Yeah, and hopefully next month when I get a chance to speak with you, we'll be able to share some more information once we get through this negotiation process and bring more good news to our community.
Yeah, because it is good news.
I think
it
so.
is good news. All right, and thank you again, Paul,
Absolutely.
and we'll see you next month.
Okay.
Celebrating 65. Exciting until you wonder, should I apply for Medicare? If so, how? But I'm still working. What is Medicare Part A, Part B, C, D? Are there penalties involved? We make it easier for you. We discuss the pros, cons, and myths. Call 1-888-225-6468. We help you understand, enroll, and use your benefits so you can go back to doing the things you love.
Well, believe it or not, we've come to another end of the episode. I'm always so sad when it's over, but I appreciate you tuning in today. And remember, if you have questions, please email me at talktech949@gmail.com, and I would be more than happy to answer your questions. Just let me know. And remember, think before you click and be kind when posting online. And thank you for tuning in.